Alrighty, so we have our inlays carved out and we're ready for the next step, which is each side of the trash can will be carved out to receive the inlays that will go in. So how we do that is we pull out our trusty trim router, a Freud FT1000E. That's right, you've seen it before. It's awesome. Usually the go-to trim router is the Porter cable setup. I tried that once, and the Freud's, I liked it much better. The plunge base on it is just like a bigger router. It's awesome. This plunge base stays on here most of the time. So, and I've put in a carbide, solid carbide downdraft bit to do the carving we're going to do. So, what I did was I traced out the shamrock. I had to use a razor blade because it's very fine, and it just couldn't get the pencil down in there, so I carved it with a razor and then put the pencil mark on there so I could see it, because I can't see the razor cut. So we're just about ready to start. I'm going to clamp it down using some bench dogs, and then start a cutting. So let me tap this down and secure it. And we're ready to start cutting. So, the next step's done. We have the inlay area in the workpiece roughed out. Now you'll notice you'll see pencil lines there. I cut inside the pencil line, which means it's a little small. That's for custom fitting. The rest has to be done by hand with either a small chisel, or in some cases, in this particular instance, I may have to use a razor because some of the areas are very fine. So that part is kind of time consuming and tedious, but eventually we'll get it to fit in there perfectly and we'll have our inlay. So, time to start carving out some itty bitty pieces of wood. So we've cut our inlay out and we've carved out where it's going to go in the board. These are kind of delicate, so I went through a couple of tools before I found the right one, which wound up being the good old Dremel. So now we're ready to glue this in. I'm just going to put a little glue in there. Well, we've got the inlays done on the waste basket, and they've been sanded. Everything's been sanded. They all have a final sanding, so I've dry fit it. I've got a picture I can pop up later, and we're going to use Watco's Danish oil and then put some shellac on it so you can see the difference. I've done one piece already just to check it out. It really makes the grain pop. And the Purple Heart. So I'll be rubbing in some Danish oil into the pieces, and I'll let that sit probably overnight, let it soak in and dry. It is oil based, and then we'll come back tomorrow and start applying a few coats of shellac, make it nice and pretty and shiny and beautiful for my beloved bride, for her beautiful bathroom that has been mandated. Marky Mark extraordinaire.